to lay my identity on a cutting table, to segregate my livelihood, to lessen my persona to fit in with my surrounding counterparts, to add on or take away from myself to make me more appealing to the common eye, to appetizer my daily living, because no one is able to stomach seeing someone deal with two pieces of a lifetime hardship they did not ask for in the first place. When I say that I am a poet, I can hear the cringeful sighs of every white person in America.
Brilliant compilation and showcase of talented artists from different disciplines sharing stories from the Black experience. And my favorite part ultimately was that treat to get to know the artists afterwards and get that post-performance talk about their process, their inspiration, their experiences that helped this piece that we just saw blossom and bloom. And I think that is a real treat that we're not really afforded to a lot of the time. We just see a piece of art and then wonder more about it, and then it kind of leaves us. But when we get the history behind it and get to hear from that individual about their process, I think it really sticks with me more. And I feel like I've been welcomed into a community and been welcomed into the process.
One of the very first things that hits you is how artfully the filmmakers did the title cards by putting the images and the names of the people who we were going to be learning about in the film. It instantly gives the viewer a connection with that person. So I think that that was very clever. The other clever thing, we hear Alicia and she starts doing her amazing poetry. The filmmakers added text, but not just any text. They did it so creatively where they accentuated certain words and had different sizes in the text, different colors. That was amazing. You have Travis and Demirio's song, which heartbreaking subject matter. But these two young musicians are so talented. I really, really loved their interview. I loved listening to them talk about their dad and talk about music, and then getting a chance to meet their dad in the next interview and find out more about him. I just think that this was done really well. It was a beautiful, beautiful film.
This experimental piece was super engaging. It brings up a lot of emotions and was pretty thought-provoking and well-researched and structured in a sense that it was able to start conversations throughout the world about something that often gets looked down upon. I really enjoyed the different elements that the story brought and from the different interviewers that were being interviewed. So it was really great to witness the outsiders coming in and expressing themselves through the art form of a poem.
The setup was really nice because you started with some of the poems, spoken word, and then there was, I think the second one was more of a song with the like lyrics and music. I really liked that you started with those and then kind of gave the backstory of the one that was titled Traumatized with the two boys sitting there. It was very heartfelt. And then how you showed another one and then showed the backstory to the whole poetic justice and how that came about. I really liked that a lot. I like that there were like people talking and then there were people doing their art, and you had the visuals popping up with the different artwork and colors, and it was just very fun to watch. And it was neat to learn about how these people are learning to use art as therapy and your creativity as therapy, and also, you know, take your pain and put it into something beautiful like that and so heartfelt that can be seen and related to by other people. I just love that. I think everything in here for me was just really heartfelt. And I like that there's a way for these people to express themselves in a contest. And because I always think healthy competition is a good thing. And I just liked it a lot. And I'd like to actually see this as a series. There's probably a Poetic one, Justice 1 and 2. So I'm assuming this contest is continuing too. It'd be cool to see them all in sort of a series.
This had the feel of kind of like an after-school special, like the 80s, with how it was edited. in the 80s and 90s, except dealing with adult themes. It's a way to relate to those of us who grew up in the 80s and 90s, but putting in a context more of that is more understandable for more mature minds. It also puts it into the perspective of exactly how Black people think. This was Poetic Justice 3. I would be curious to what was in 1 and 2. It does give a lot of the background of each of these individuals, even though it's a short film. It gives you where they're coming from and why, it's and what their backgrounds are and why they're angry. The fact that some people are thinking they can't be poets in Black, like the first girl said, is mind-blowing. Some of the greatest poets of all time have been Black women. And I don't know who's teaching that now, the failed public education system or something. I don't know. Some of the best poets were Black women, and the fact that some people are being told that they can't be like the first girl, Black and a woman. And then you have the two people at the end who are putting it all into perspective through their sit-down interview on a green screen with the things going on in the background. All of this goes for it. I do like how the words were being slammed onto the screen at the beginning.
I love the quick editing and the talented CGI, like the sliding panels. The interviews of the artists were so great, full of truth and pride for their work and for the cause of justice. I love the soundtrack too, notably under one of the interviews, which really added a dynamic energy.